Hey there, another lovely afternoon in Chilliwack. As you can see, the rain behind me on my windows. I'm actually on my way to go across the border. I only live about 20 minutes from the Washington border, which is my closest access is Sumas, Washington. So I'm heading across. I'm actually going to go pick up a set of leathers for my Bronx saddle. Very exciting. Beach leathers. So it'll be my first time trying those out, and yeah, I'm excited to get my saddle set up finally. So today I think I'll talk a little bit about mental toughness. I've had quite a few people ask me kind of what it takes to do what I do and for the length of time I've been doing it. I would say at the forefront of it all is I'm pretty stubborn and I have been since I was a little kid. So definitely just the never quit attitude. You're gonna get the outcome you want no matter what, and constantly trying to improve yourself and focusing on your end goal. I have naturally been a bit of a stubborn kid growing up. It was funny. I in grade 5 I had to write a speech, and I wrote it on frustration. And I compared myself, being frustrated because I was stubborn, right? So it's been ingrained in me as a little kid, and it continues to be part of who I am. Other than that, it's like having a vision of what you want and seeing it happen before it happens. When I first started riding Bronx, everyone was kind of telling me that I can't do it. Women can't, women can't compete. And that we're not allowed to compete. All of these things, and I just had it kind of set in my head that I was going to ride, and I was going to figure out how I was going to ride. And when I did the research, I found that the only associations I actually couldn't ride in, despite the consensus of most people assuming that because they don't see female saddle bronc riders, that we're not able to. So the High School Rodeo Association and the College Rodeo Association have the events labels as girls events and boys events in the high school, and then women's and men's events in the college association. It was my understanding, it's my understanding that if it was approved at the regional level, women could compete in some of the men's events or boys events, but then at the national level it became a bigger deal that they more than likely weren't able to, because unless the rule book was changed at the national level. The amateur associations don't have any, from what my knowledge seen, and I've competed in a ton of the amateur rodeo associations or semi-professional rodeo associations, and they've had it's been open, like, to it's gender neutral, I guess, for the exception typically of being in the CPRA, the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association, there was boys steer riding, and then the ladies barrel racing is typically reserved to especially for women. So so that's kind of gotten us off track, but that's how I learned I could ride. And even in the professional level, when I looked at the PRCA rule book, it said there's no discrimination for gender and race and a few other things. So I basically entered my first rodeo and competed, and then went from there. So so definitely, like, seeing your way through what you want to do, doing the research, making yourself educated on what you want to do is a big thing. I'm amazed at how many females actually approach me without doing their research or even becoming knowledgeable on the sport in which they pursue. And they are asking me basic questions they should know if they want to compete in the sport. So definitely, if you want to do something and you want to persevere, you need to be educated on it, and you need to have somebody to help you, whether it be going to a school or somebody that's done well and is very knowledgeable to help you along, regardless of it's, my chosen event of saddle bronc or not. But if you are going to go down the path of riding rough stock, you do need to find some good broncs to get practice on. Worst case scenario, having access to a bucket machine and stuff as well. And then, of course, physical fitness is huge. Core strength. You can't expect to go and ride and compete and do well when it's a sport that's hard on your body. It's tough. There needs a lot of core strength. And even to get banged around, the possibilities of getting bucked off, smashed in the chutes, all that other stuff. The stronger you are, the more you're able to withstand that sort of impact on your body. And then definitely having support of some kind. I was lucky enough that my family has supported me through my career riding. They don't always agree with me, but they definitely are behind me, and I know that they're there if I need them, right? And that doesn't have to be family. If you don't have family that's close that way, it can be friends. There's always somebody that will help you out and listen to you and to try to steer you in the right direction. Especially when things are rough and you're not feeling very confident or you're getting discouraged. Having somebody to pick you up and believe in you is huge. And you always have to remember to believe in yourself. No matter what happens, no matter how shitty things get, you have to have that underlying belief that you can do what you set out to do, that you are capable of doing it. Because if you have any doubt that you're not, that's setting you up for failure. Things will never go smoothly. Life is not smooth. Rodeo is not smooth. Learning to do anything new is never smooth. Although I would like to say I've seen a few people that have proved me wrong on that. It appears, and it kind of pisses you off because you're like, how the hell did they get to? How come it came so easy to them? Or even I see people, and it's a terrible way to look at it. You're like, they're not even very smart, and they can ride really good, right? Why does it have to be? Why does it come so easy? Why do they?
You have an incoming call.
My mom's calling me. I just hung up on her. I'll call her back later. So seeing your goals, seeing things through, believing in yourself, having that support, those are all key. When I first started, actually things I did too is like affirmations. So and I would post things around my room, saying, Kayla Muscle wins this rodeo this weekend. And I would even write down broncs that I wanted to draw that I knew I could ride well on, or ones that I'd previously ridden well on. And it's funny, I actually did manifest a lot of that stuff with doing well and drawing broncs I wanted to get. It didn't work all in my favor all the time, but a lot of time it did. It's like the power of, in a sense, the power of attraction and manifesting what you want, seeing what you want and allowing it to happen. So that's been also a big thing for me with riding over the years. I used to have really set in stone goals, but I found that the more rigid they were, the more I wasn't happy if I didn't accomplish them. So it was easier to set sort of smaller goals and then have progressively larger goals once you accomplish them. But to just say, I got to do this or this isn't good enough, it's just, again, it's setting you up for failure. And oftentimes too, when you reach these certain goals, especially from a perfectionist mentality, it's not good enough. You know, there's always the next step where you're gonna go. You know, another thing is like this deep down, and it's hard to describe. It's like it's being drawn to what you want to do, and it's like this almost a spiritual level of being connected with it and thriving off of what you're doing. So if you have that, it's kind of easy to stick with your goals and deal with all the obstacles you have to overcome, because it's something you want to do, it's something you love to do, it's something you know you can do, and it makes it it's like your purpose, right? There's kind of no way else to describe it. That being said, with riding saddle bronc, there's no feeling like that. There's no comparison. Any bronc riders would know what I mean. It's like when 8 seconds, it's like 8 seconds slows down, and it's like seems like eternity, and things are going so smoothly and easy. It's like being in a dream, is like how I would describe it. Which is partly why I've had a hard time moving on from it, because I haven't found that replacement. And from what I hear from everyone else, it's unlikely I will find that replacement. But yeah, I mean, that's what you're always aiming for, you know, that perfect ride, that amazing feeling ride where everything seems flawless and fluid and you're moving with the bronc in time. So that's what you strive for. I think that I've covered most of the bases for, you know, sort of what it takes for mental toughness, in the sense of what has kept me doing what I've been doing for so long. Again, there is also the belief, knowing deep down I'm not done with it. Some people say, you know, you're never done with it, that you'll always miss it. But I feel like I will know when I'm finished riding broncs, and I don't know when that is. I mean, it could be this year, it could be a few years from now, it could be, you know, never. I don't know. But like I've said previously, as long as I want to do it, as long as I'm healthy enough to do it, there's no reason why I can't do that. You know, people try to put you know, the age game, you know, you're too old for this, you're too old for that, and I mean, that's their perception. You're only as old as you believe you are. Granted, we all have aging bodies, which don't allow us sometimes to do what we want to do. But yeah, so that in a nutshell is why I ride broncs and have ridden broncs for so long. And despite all the obstacles I've overcome, all the injuries I've had, when you make that one, you know, great ride, it all is worth it. And then, of course, all of the other cool stuff that's come along with it, all the friends I've made, all the places I've seen, all the broncs I've got to get on, all the amazing rodeo committees, you know, having a song written about me, being in a music video, having Red Bull do a documentary, you know, all this stuff is kind of icing on the cake. It would have been okay if it didn't happen, but it's pretty cool that it has. And I'm very grateful to live the life that I do, and to also not be so hard on myself, and to finally be able to appreciate and have fun along this journey. So thank you for listening to me, and we will talk to you all really soon.